Hi, how you doing this evening? It's Fringale with Amateur Cooking Show 101. Tonight we're having ground turkey meatloaf, fresh ground turkey. And I'm gonna flavor it up with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, fresh onion, green bell pepper, and tomato sauce in it that makes it moist, and a little bit of water. That also makes it moist because there's no fat in it. And I will also be putting a little bit of sage in there, just a very small little pinch because it's very strong and you don't want it to overpower the flavor of the turkey and the other seasonings. Also, I'll be making homemade from scratch garlic and herb with butter, mashed potatoes, and a can of chilled cranberry sauce. And again, I'm gonna do the almost homemade turkey gravy that I know how to make it taste like you make it from scratch. Okay, be back after a while. Cranberry sauce just to not waste any time. And I chilled the can in the fridge for several hours. So I'm gonna get chopping on the green bell pepper and the onion to go on into the ground turkey before I stick it in the oven. Chop onion and the green bell pepper that's gonna go in the ground turkey. I'm gonna get the turkey together. Pat it dry with the ground turkey, fresh ground turkey. Right there, and I'll be seasoning it right now. And one thing, when you want meatloaf, you gotta save some money and get the good meat like sirloin, ground sirloin. Since there's no fat, it's gonna come out dry. So if you want a moist meatloaf from ground sirloin, add like half a cup of water to 2 pounds of ground beef. If you use turkey, about that much water, because with the onion and the bell pepper and the tomato sauce going in it, getting mixed into the ground turkey will make it moist. And that bakes for an hour and 20 minutes. Okay, it's seasoned now with garlic powder, onion powder, pepper. Forgot the salt. This is my sea salt container. Let's get a little bit, and the reason why we do it from up here is because when you sprinkle it, it goes all over them, whatever you're making. Chicken, beef, pork, fish. So if you just put it in one area, it's gonna stay in that one area, won't get incorporated, right? Here's the sage to give it that good old-fashioned Thanksgiving taste. You just do very small sprinkles. Okay, I'm gonna mix that up, and then I'm gonna add the onion and green bell pepper to it. It has the green onion and the bell pepper on there. Unfortunately, I don't have any more homemade tomato sauce. So after I mixed it with the spices, and before I put the onion and green bell pepper on it, I washed my hands with hand sanitizer and then soap. I'm gonna have to use ketchup instead of tomato sauce. When I make beef meatloaf, I use ketchup in there, and that makes it moist too because it's lacking the fat from the beef or chicken, pork, whatever meatloaf you want to make. You can do a mixture of pork and I'm not cooking it in this plastic thing because it would melt in the oven. And the oven is set at 350 preheating. You do that for 5 minutes. This is what it looks like all mixed together. Okay. Wash my hands. Remember, when you're cooking with chicken or poultry or any kind of meat, especially these what kind, chicken and turkey, you really gotta sanitize your area and your hands. I don't know where all my pots are at, but and pans, baking pans, but I'm using my good old baking cake pan. It's 8 inches round, and I use the cooking spray around it. Carefully put the ground turkey in there. Pat it down in there. I already put the water and the ketchup in here, so it's all pre-mixed already. I don't want to get soap on the turkey there, but my hands are soapy. I'm cleaning my hands. Now it's ready to go in the oven. And then we let it cook for an hour and a half, but before that 20 minutes comes up, put tomato sauce on top, or barbecue sauce, or whatever sauce you want, hot sauce, or whatever. But I'm going to use ketchup. And we'll be back after a bit to get them boiling, and then we'll put the garlic and the thyme and the parsley in the water as they're boiling. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to put this on pause. Potatoes are peeled. Now you fill it with water, of course. Enough to cover the potatoes, but not overflow the rim. On the burner, should be my heat. Since to me, potatoes pretty much a bland taste. So, and always add potatoes to cold water. If you add it too hot, the starches will come up. Get about that much salt because they love salt. Put it in there, then you don't have to add salt later, unless you want it. Now we're gonna add butter to it. But this chunk is about 2.5 tablespoons of butter. I'll be getting the parsley, the thyme, and the garlic in the water as well. Be back after a while. So in this bowl, we're gonna do our mock version of homemade gravy. So again, can of turkey gravy, or a jar, or the powder, whatever flavor gravy you want with your turkey meatloaf. And goes a few sprinkles of thyme, some black pepper, and of course parsley flakes. You can use fresh, but that will even be better if you use the fresh thyme and fresh parsley, whatever herbs you want to put. This is just my preference. You don't have to follow everything I do. I'm just giving you an example. And then a tablespoon of butter and half a cup of water, but this time I'm putting it on the microwave. So obviously that's a tablespoon and a half of butter or margarine or artificial, whatever you want to use. The parsley, the thyme, the pepper, the gravy, and I'm gonna put the water. Give it a stir. And I'm gonna set my microwave to go cool off when it's the last 15 minutes of the meatloaf baking or cooking, whatever you want to call it. Okay, be back after a while. So we're going to re-sanitize our area. I'm sure you all don't want to get bloody diarrhea if you get a contamination of salmonella and get sick to your stomach. That's why I always say I cannot stress enough that you gotta sanitize anytime you're handling some kind of meat, fish, chicken, turkey. Those of you that like making yams or sweet potatoes from scratch or from can, I have a secret to how you can make regular mashed potatoes taste just like yams or sweet potatoes, but that'll be another time. Alright. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm gonna make me a single serve cup of coffee. Well, it's in this mug. I open the little pot, 100% Colombian coffee, or I like different flavors of coffee. I'm just craving a strong coffee tonight. So instead of going to an expensive place, a coffee place, and paying a lot of money to just do it yourself, put the water that it takes. I'm diabetic, so I can't have sugar, but I can treat myself tonight just to show you guys that there's no sugar in there, nothing in there. I usually use substitute, or if my sugar is low, I use a little bit of regular sugar. Now to make a flavored coffee, you get little pre-chopped candies like this. You can use chocolate chips or whatever. Don't overdo it, but just low enough. These are creamed and mint candies, chocolates, that are cut up into tiny little sized pieces. I just put the coffee in there. I'm gonna have to move my coffee pot to throw a plug. Be right back. Coffee will be done in a couple of minutes. Check the potatoes. Usually I cut them up to uniform size. Uniform size means the same size, so they all cook the same time. This amateur show is actually just not just for SMI and people that don't know how to cook, but for people whom are not SMI and would like to impress their partner or their husband or wife or their family. If you haven't ever tried cooking, it's very simple. I was just born born this way to want to become a chef all my life. So I'm going to be 51 in April, but it might have taken some time, but I finally found what I was meant to do. Okay, be back in a bit. I'm diabetic and I added the chocolate candies to the coffee. Very plain old black coffee with this chocolate mint. What you do is, I'll give you an example. I'll use this over the sink. I don't know if I can show you. There's a plain old black coffee. What you do is get some whipped cream, or ready whip, or whatever you want to use. A little star on top. And then with good cinnamon, put some on top, as much as you want. And there's your coffee.